In July of 2018, an unexpected transition was ushered into the life of Freeport Bible Church. Though the challenge was great, today we stand with the belief that God allowed the ministry to be tested greatly for heights unknown. It is nothing short of miraculous that 6 months into the transitional leadership of Pastor Kyle Maycock, the church has experienced significant growth in membership and enthusiasm and a hope like never before. Pastor Kyle D. Maycock was born April 18, 1981 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, to Patrice Farrington and Philip Maycock. His mother Patrice always recalled Kyle as a toddler, taking the Bible and preaching to his family at home. Perhaps it was the earliest sign that the call of God was on his life. His first introduction to Freeport Bible Church was by his mother on the invite of Harold Antor when Kyle was about 8 years old. Years later, Pastor Wilbur Outen, senior pastor at that time, took special notice of Kyle and encouraged him to serve in ministry. Kyle was only 15 years old. However, he began serving faithfully in the usher and the youth ministry. Around 2003, after faithfully serving as an assistant in the youth ministry of Freeport Bible Church, the leadership made a very deliberate decision to invest in the life of this young leader, and he was enrolled in Trinity College in Florida, where he received a Bachelor of Science degree in Pastoral Ministries and Bible Studies in 2006. In 2005, prior to the completion of his studies, he was ordained as a licensed minister in the BECA. Upon the successful completion of his studies, he then took on to complete an internship in Pirates Well, Mayaguana at the Brea Mission Church. Following this, he voluntarily accepted the challenge to go to the island of Inagua, where he served for 2 years as an assistant pastor at Inagua Gospel Chapel. In 2010, he returned to Freeport Bible Church and accepted the role as full-time youth coordinator, where he continued his faithful service to the young people of Grand Bahama. Under his leadership, the student membership grew from 13 students to approximately 100 students. In the ensuing years, Kyle spent a year providing pastoral leadership for a local church called Open Door Ministry, located in Freeport, with simultaneously leading the youth ministry at Freeport Bible Church. In 2011, Pastor Kyle was once again called upon to make the sacrifice of traveling weekly to New Providence to provide Sunday morning teaching for Carmichael Bible Church, which was operating without a full-time pastor at the time. In 2012, Pastor Kyle was officially ordained as youth pastor of Freeport Bible Church. In 2017, after years of faithful service to Freeport Bible Church under the leadership of Pastor Wilbur Outen, he was appointed assistant pastor of Freeport Bible Church with the responsibility for pastoral care, leadership training, and Sunday morning teaching as needed. During this time, it became obvious to the members of Freeport Bible Church that this young pastor possessed the potential to become the future leader of the church. In July of 2018, Pastor Kyle Maycock was appointed as interim pastor of Freeport Bible Church. And in only a few months, he has demonstrated love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control. And there is no doubt that he is called by God to provide leadership for Freeport Bible Church at this critical time in the church history. You bring me joy. I'm on my knees thanking you for giving me that joy. Joy into my soul. It brings me joy. Thank you, Jesus.
One of the things that I am very aware of is the rich legacy that this ministry has provided to the city and to the island of Grand Bahama over 42 years. It's been known for character, leadership, competent leadership, and then really community impact. And we've had the privilege of being exposed to great leadership over the last 42 years. And that is something that's a foundational pillar of who we are. And it's a privilege. And it's a heavy responsibility too to carry. But I believe that it sets the stage for us to run the next leg well. And so I'm deeply indebted to those that founded this ministry, Pastor Ed Cadet, Pastor Wilbur Ouden, and the entire team that served over 42 years to make Freeport Bible Church what it is today. I am a product of this ministry. And today I stand on their shoulders. And so that is something that I do not take for granted. And I accept it, a sober mind, but also excited of what's ahead. And so that is where I start when it comes to Freeport Bible Church as a ministry. The leaders before me, they were able to do it, have some measure of success based on some principles. And one of the things that I enjoy here is the fact that we have a good group of people that have already bought in, not to any personality, but to the mission of Freeport Bible Church. And so the team we have, I've inherited through their buy-in to what the church is supposed to be all about. And so as a young man, I hold an office that represents something bigger than my personality. And so I'm appreciative of that. Not only that, but we have seasoned people around us, people that have been in this ministry for over 40 years, over a generation, that have pledged their commitment to this work and to something that will last beyond them and beyond myself. And so with that momentum, with that level of buy-in and experience and just commitment with the generation that's before me, I think we have a good soil to grow something to the next level. I represent a hybrid. I am a product of the generation before me, and I'm also borderline a millennial. So I understand what our appetites are, and I also understand the virtues of the older generation. But what I would say to them is there's nothing to fear here. You know, the mission is clear. We believe that we build a great church by being committed to two great things: the Great Commission, which is to reach the lost, and the Great Commandment, which is to love one another. There's enough space here to do it, two generations to do it well. And so this is not a step off the stage. This is make room for us to be on the stage together to share. Everyone has value. The toddler has a value, the elder has a value, the middle-aged person has a value, the millennial has value in the kingdom. And so my encouragement to anyone with any fears or any suspicions or any apprehension about younger leadership is God uses young people. The specific focus of Freeport Bible Church over the next 25 years is to equip and encourage believers to love God, love people, and serve the world. And that simply means that we create an environment, we create an irresistible worship environment where the unchurched, where those that are seeking answers to life questions, can come and they can get answers to practical questions. We want to create an environment where we can provide ministry to husbands, to wives, to children, to toddlers. And so we want to create that environment. Second, we want us to grow together as a community of believers through our small group ministry. We believe in doing life together. But more importantly, we want to be a church that engages with the community. Our focus, our goal for the next 25 years is to be a model, for a national model for church growth, church planting, church leadership, and church community connection. And so we want to do that. We want to be a church that's known for engaging in the community, speaking to issues that matter. We want to be a voice on issues that matter. We want to train and challenge believers to be impactful in certain areas, in media and arts, and politics and government and education. These are the things that we want our people to see themselves as leaders in. And our responsibility is to equip them, to challenge them, and help them to live out God's purpose for their life. And that's what we want to do as a community. And so we've set up a few things. One, our Life Leadership Training Institute. That's going to be geared towards ministry training and life training skills. We are in the process of expanding our academy that started out as a preschool and now up to the 6th grade. Our goal is to take it to a collegiate education. And so we want to expand in that area to provide a sound Christian education from birth to adulthood. Personally, I think I bring to it a perspective, like I said, that bridges the gap between two generations. We bring to the table a more intellectual, research-based approach to what we want to do. You know, traditionally in churches, it's kind of left up into the air. Data has a place around the table. And so strategic planning is going to be a big part of how we do ministry. Then, in addition to that, there's a creative side. There's a creativity that's lacking in trying to problem solve. There's a boldness that's needed to step out and to speak to national issues, social issues. Those are the things that I believe that my generation is concerned about, and it's on our appetite. It's what we desire to see the church being fully engaged in the community and making an impact. And above all, we simply want to be faithful in what God has called us to do.
And I think of all I've been through, I realize that my life was surely missing you.